Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be filming a tutorial video from the position I did at the reunion promotion. I'm here with my training partner Scooby, and today we're going to be showcasing the technique. Let's go. In the fight, I found myself passing his guard, and I wanted to do a knee slide, and my partner and my opponent managed to close a half guard around my ankle. In this moment, I had a difficult time to finish my knee slide, so I decided to go back and attack his legs. The first thing we have to do is that we have to sit a little bit on top of his leg to make it a little bit heavier. And now we're going to have one unweighted leg. I'm going to use my right leg to do a back step over his and finishing in a seated position, closing a triangle around his right leg, sorry. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to unweight my leg, step over, and I'm going to sit back, and in the moment I'm going to sit back, I'm going to grab his leg and pull it to me, so I end up in this position. Let's turn a little bit. We call this position many names. We call it 411, we can call it inside sankaku, or we can call it also cross ashigarami. The main principle of this position is that we close a triangle around our partner's primary leg. We like to call the leg we want to attack the primary leg, and we also have to control his secondary leg. It's very important for us to control his secondary leg, in this case his left leg, because if we don't have any type of control, my partner can pull his leg to you, start turning and start to hide his heel, and it's going to be very difficult for me to attack the heel hook. So when we land in the position, the first thing we have to do is to make an overwrap with our right arm and keep his leg on our chest. In this fashion, it's going to be very difficult for him to pull his leg to you, to him, and to turn out, and it's going to be very much easier for me to attack his primary leg. In the fight, I did the following. I went with my left hand underneath, and I tried to catch the heel of my opponent. I didn't manage to catch his heel, so I more or less catched his ankle. And in the moment I released his primary leg, I went with my armpit and I catched his toes. Okay? It's very important for us to catch his toes with our armpit, and the same moment we turn to put our whole weight on top of his foot. One common mistake people do when they attack this heel hook from this position is that they are going to cover the toes and they're going to lay back straight on their back. Okay? In this fashion, my partner can slip his heel and still hide his heel under my back, and it's going to be very difficult for me to manage and get the heel hook. So when we are in this position here, when we catch his toes, it's very important for us to bring our elbow to our hip, and it's very important for us to lay our whole weight on top of his foot. Now, when my partner tries to slip his heel or stretch his point his toes, it's going to be very difficult because I have a lot of weight on top of his toes. In the fight, I managed to catch his toes, but my forearm was here and his heel wasn't on top of my forearm, so I couldn't finish the heel hook yet. So what I did is I got my left hand and I went and grabbed his heel, and now I slipped his heel on top of my forearm to manage and lock the heel hook. Okay? In the fight, my elbow was even more to my hip to have even more weight, and it's very important for us to lift our hips to put a lot of weight on top of the leg of our partner. Okay? We don't want to slouch our hip to the ground. We want to keep our hip up and have all of our weight on top of his heel. From here, it's very easy for us to lock our palm to palm grip. I'm going to keep my weight on top of his foot, and I'm going to lift my hip up and bridge sideways to his knee to manage to get the tap. Okay? So, let's look at it one more time. I was here in this position. I tried to do the knee slide, but my partner closed the half guard around my ankle, so I couldn't pass his guard. In this moment, I sat back on his leg to make my right leg unweighted, and now I managed to do a small back step to clear both of his legs and sit back into the inside sankaku or cross ashigarami, however you want to call it. In this moment, it's very important for us to go with both of our arms, catch his left leg, and close a very tight triangle like so. Let's turn a little bit. Like we said before, it's very important for us to control his secondary leg. If we don't do this, he's going to pull his leg to you, he's going to start turning, and he's going to start breaking my position, and I will not be able to go and attack his foot. So the moment we sit down, we're going to go with an overwrap over his leg and keep his leg close to our chest. Now in this fashion, it's going to be very difficult for him to free our position. In the fight, I went with my left hand underneath. Ideally, we catch the heel, but I didn't manage, so I catch the ankle. And in the moment I let go of his secondary leg, I went and catch his toes with my armpit. Like I said before, don't do the mistake of laying straight back to your back, because now it's going to be very difficult for me to expose his heel. The moment we catch his toes, we're going to bring our elbow to our hip, and I'm going to lay my whole weight on top of my partner's foot like this. Ideally, his heel lands on top of my forearm. In the fight, I had the problem that his heel was already here. If we have this problem, we're going to take our left hand, go to his heel, and we're going to bring it on top of our forearm, okay? Don't lean back and try to bring your forearm to the heel, because in this moment we lose pressure on his foot and he can start slipping his heel. So when we are here, we're going to stay with our weight here. I'm going to grab his heel and slip it on top of my forearm. From here, we make sure our triangle is still closed. I have it a little bit open so I don't have so much pressure on his leg. I'm going to close a palm-to-palm grip, and then I'm going to keep my whole weight on top of his foot, lifting up my hip, and now bridging inside and putting the pressure on his knee to get the tap. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like the content. Expect more content like this, more tutorials like this of positions I did in tournaments and also in training. Thank you so much, Scooby, for showing this with me, and see you on the next video. Awesome.